What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Seth, and today is another one of those short little blog things that I mentioned last week that I was gonna start trying to do these a little bit more often. Now, that said, if there is nothing that is actually worth talking about, then of course there might not be another one of these blog type videos anytime soon. But for right now, there's a couple things that I just wanted to get out there, and also I'm doing a little bit of testing. You're gonna notice some things have changed with our display right here. Hopefully it's gonna be noticeable on YouTube, but I don't necessarily know. I actually have a 4K resolution monitor right now, and I actually found out the hard way that not really anything supports these types of monitors. Now, I will get into the issues that Trove has with it specifically, but I'm more talking about just in general, for general computer use. Do not get one of these monitors, because otherwise it makes all the icons on your desktop extremely small, and although Windows can scale those up, it means that everything else is going to be tiny as well. So what I've actually got set up that I'm doing right now is I'm running this monitor at just normal 1920 by 1080 when I'm doing like editing, watching videos, and just for anything that I'm doing like on the computer, just leisurely and everything like that. And then when I'm doing recording, like right now, I'm actually testing it at a higher resolution where I have the monitors at its native resolution, and I'm actually playing Trove in a windowed what is it? I think it's 2560 by 1440, I think is the resolution. So this is a general bump up from the normal resolution that I was playing Trove in, which was kind of a very weird resolution that was just under under 1080p, because I play pretty much every game in windowed. Just overall, I would say that that is a general rule of thumb thing to do with recording, just because so many games are so unstable, and more often than not, if they would crash at full screen, things just don't really go well. But I am also experimenting with a different recording software right now. All the way up until this point, I've been using Bandicam, and the reason for that is just because not only of the advantages of compressing video files while it records, it also had the biggest advantage at the time of dual audio splitting. So it would record my microphone in a separate audio track from the game's audio, allowing me to better customize the audio afterwards in editing. So right now what I'm actually doing is I'm using Audacity to record my microphone, and then I'm using Shadowplay to record the game. So this is a little bit trickier on my part, because it means that I'm going to have to get into different habits of like pressing space or doing an emoticon or pressing a button or something like that and speaking verbally into the mic at the same timing so that I can sync the video up after. It's very tedious and a little bit annoying, but unfortunately it seems like it's something that's gonna have to happen, because as I stepped up to this higher resolution, because like I said in the last blog video, like I'm kind of going through a transitional phase with the channel, and I'm trying to step everything up to a more professional quality. This includes the video quality as well, because that's something that's actually frustrated me personally for quite some time. Although the videos do seem fine, and as I watch them on YouTube, you know, my quality is fine and everything like that. But the real test comes into play with the dithering of motion blur. So for example, if I end up having my webcam in the bottom corner, or my face cam, I guess, and I start moving and there's lots of action going on and stuff like that, I just personally notice a lot of blurriness. Now, I don't know if there's any way to actually get rid of that. I mean, I know there is ways to get rid of that, but just for myself personally in the channel, I don't know, because I don't know if YouTube lets like more, like, you know, more popular YouTube channels and stuff might end up getting a bit more bandwidth for their video quality. I'm not exactly sure, but for somebody like myself, I mean, I just kind of gotta find the best solution for what I've got right now. So anyway, some of the disadvantages I'm noticing with Trove right away is if I try to play Trove in my this monitor's native full screen, Trove explodes and can't really handle it. So Trove is clearly not designed for 4K resolution, which, I mean, nothing really is at this point, despite the fact that it's advertised like all over the place. You're gonna also notice I'm gonna not really censor this right now, but the chat text is a little bit blurry. It might not show up so much in the video, but I'm noticing for myself. Also, the F1 icon is a little bit grainy. The RT, the items themselves seem to be okay. I think that's because they are actually like 3D rendered. But you can clearly see that the letters and the spacing and stuff, see, these letters seem fine, and people logging in and out is okay. And if I start typing, that is crystal clear for me. But the chat itself and everything else like that seems to have a little bit of issue. Also, if we type /welcome, you can see this same graininess with some of the items, like the monkey right here. And just overall, like some of these things, I'm noticing like there's a little bit of pixelation on the edges of things and stuff like that. I think that's just because this resolution is so beefy that you can notice some of the flaws, except for the graininess that's going on the text down here. That seems to just be a built-in issue with the game. So what I've also been doing is now every time I log into Trove, I'm actually scaling my UI to 1.2, because let me show you, this is actually just normal scaled UI right now on this resolution. And for myself personally, it's just almost impossible for me to actually read this right now, because this monitor is just such a huge display on it. Seriously, there's so many problems with having 4K resolution. It might look good in a video, and that's what I'm hoping ends up happening, because the Trove gameplay, you can see, look at that, look at that issue. You see that graphical glitch right there? Man alive, Trove's UI cannot handle this, but the game itself seems to handle it just fine. And I'm noticing that in shadow play, I'm just getting generally better results than with Bandicam, because Bandicam is kind of the same results that I was getting with the Blue Bluebird mic, which I mentioned in the last vlog video, where it's not that it's a bad microphone, it's not that the technology is bad or anything like that, but as soon as I want to jump up to a more professional level of production, it just can't cope. That's why I ended up getting this different microphone, and that's why I'm also experimenting with different recording software, and I've heard nothing but good things about shadow play. So right now, just for anybody that uses shadow play, if you're wondering how am I actually recording this in windowed mode, because normally you can only record the desktop to record things in windowed mode, but it means that all of the desktop is gonna be in the window, and you're gonna have to cut that all out in editing, and it's just, yeah. So right now I'm actually running a beta version of shadow play just so I can get things to run smoothly. And again, this video is mostly just for testing that. And I just wanted to kind of clue everybody in on all of that, because I didn't really realize how much of a complicated step up it was going to be to actually swap over to a new monitor. Like, clearly everything on the planet does not really support this type of resolution right now. But overall, I'm hoping that I'm gonna get some better quality videos out of it. I'm hoping that as I upload this to YouTube, it's going to be a little bit less grainy and a little bit more, you know, stable and stuff. Like, hopefully it's not going to be too ugly right now as I'm turning the camera and everything like that. And it's going to be very, very smooth as it is for me playing it. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Another side note that I just wanted to mention too is I did start playing Warframe. I know everybody's been requesting that, but my goodness, well, not but anything. I just started playing it. I have a first episode recorded of that. It might take a little bit before it actually shows up on the channel though, because just in general, like, you know, I'm trying to figure out a new type of schedule that I can work with, you know, from now until the future, you know, because what I've got right now just isn't really working out for me. Speaking of which, I guess I'll take this opportunity to talk about this. Even though we're kind of playing Trove, it doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of doing it. And maybe in the future with these blog type videos too, just so I can kind of focus on what I need to talk about, rather than kind of wandering around in the game and trying to make, like, do something interesting, like walking around in circles and stuff like that. I might in the future end up just like recording my audio separately, kind of like a podcast type thing, and then just putting gameplay underneath it, just randomly from an episode or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not exactly sure what type of format I want for these blog videos. By the way, we are actually in the Kigurumi Club right now. I set up a new biome here that I will extend the village out to once I end up finding the time. The other thing too that I did want to talk about is just some series are going to have to get cut. Undertale is one of them. I'm sorry, everybody, but despite everybody requesting me to actually play Undertale, it is doing absolutely horrible on the channel, so I'm just going to cut it. Even though I actually really enjoy that game, I just can't put my time towards it, so I'm gonna cut that so that I can start making room for some of the other series that I have planned, as well as just the other things that are going on right now for me. You know, it's a bit much to try and handle that. Now, that said, you know, I'm really hoping that Firefall and Warframe are going to do well, and I think even if they don't end up doing particularly well, I will still keep those series going, because Undertale is one of those games where it's like, only if people are interested in it will I actually keep going with it, because I kind of use that as motivation to kind of press through it, because I generally find the game to be very, very slow. You know, it's kind of just like, well, we won't talk about any of that stuff, but I'm just trying to make a point. It's not that I don't enjoy the game. I actually do have a very good time and very fun time playing it, but I'm not about to waste my time on a series that only a few of you are actually interested in, you know? So the views say otherwise despite the support, and I thank you all for the support that I have received in that series, but it has to get cut. So hopefully that's not gonna happen with Warframe or the other one that I mentioned, Firefall, but I am noticing that Team Fortress is starting to go down a little bit, unfortunately. I am keeping my eye on that, and you know, I hate to just kind of break the fourth wall here and just blatantly say it, but I've been keeping an eye on the fact that Team Fortress is getting less and less popular on the channel, and might have to start focusing on something else, folks, just because, you know, Trove always does fantastic, and oddly enough, despite all of this pay-to-win stuff going on and everybody saying that they're quitting and everything like that, Trove has actually just jumped up exponentially and has been doing fantastic for me, and Robocraft is doing okay, you know, but I myself personally, like, I enjoy making videos for all of you, but Robocraft itself, I don't really like that game. I'll just blatantly say that. So I don't know how many episodes we're gonna end up doing with that series. I mean, maybe if everybody gets like really interested, but I don't like the fact that it has to, like, it forces you to pay in order to play with more than 2 people at a time, because I'm all about like all of us playing together, you know. That's kind of the big thing that I like doing with games now, is actually playing with the community like we get to do in Trove. And right now Trove is the only one where we actually get to play with so many people at a time. You know, because otherwise, Team Fortress, I have no idea how to set up a custom server or anything like that. And then Robocraft, we can only play with a couple people at a time. My bad for asking everybody to add me up on Robocraft, because I'm probably never going to get to play with anybody on it, unfortunately, because I tried to play with some other people in another Robocraft episode I actually just recorded yesterday, but it didn't really go well. I couldn't end up getting into a game for the life of me, as I was playing with other people that were way too high level for me, you know, because I'm just kind of a scrubber ducky at that game. Now, that said, I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to cut Robocraft or anything like that. I'm just saying that I'm keeping an eye on it. And just to kind of break the fourth wall, like, this is going to be the only time where I'm going to actually talk about something like this, where, you know, as I'm stepping things up into a more professional level, I am also being a lot more critical of the series and how they are received by the community. So, you know, even though I'm still having a great time with Undertale, the fact that nobody's into it means that I am going to cut it, whether I like it or not, whether everybody else likes it or not, so that I can start focusing on stuff that everybody generally wants to see, because, you know, I get lots of comments about stuff like that. Another thing too I wanted to address is I got quite a few comments about talking about how you all seem to enjoy this lower energy style of commentating. Now, I don't. I don't particularly find this style of commentating like entertaining in any way, shape, or form. There's already like so many other content creators out there that do this style of commentating, which I myself personally consider very, very boring for my own content. Not for other people. Other people can go ahead and do slow commentary like this. I mean, I still watch BOO, and he's actually a very low energy type of guy as well, and kind of talks like I'm talking right now, just kind of slow paced and relaxed and everything like that. But we're gonna save that for these blog videos, and I'm not gonna do that in the series. If you want to see something like this, low energy in the series, you can always check out a different channel, because this is a part of who I am, but the high energy is also very much a part of who I am, because that's what I consider very entertaining. And just as a whole, I enjoy recording videos at my high energy like I have since day one, you know? So I just wanted to address that, as well as to say everyone's reception has been so wonderful lately. You know, I just gotta say everyone's just been so positive, so much more than ever before. It's absolutely wonderful, and I'm hoping that you're all gonna stick through it and tough it out with me, because right now, I mean, even though you're not really gonna see it so much on the channel, but things might end up being a little bit scattered with the quality of the videos and stuff like that, because I'm still trying to get some settings under control. And I also wanted to kind of drag this video out a little bit because I wanted to see how SCYTHE handled long quality videos and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that the quality of this video is going to be noticeably improved. The only real test will come into play once I actually put my cam, like my face cam, in the video, because raw gameplay does not dither or degrade that much on YouTube. It's when you start adding in like other things, especially with myself using a green screen. Like if I ended up swapping my webcam over to something like what you see with Markiplier, where he doesn't actually use a green screen like PewDiePie does, and I'm just using them as an example because they're at the top, right? But for myself personally, like, well, I guess I should finish my point before I talk about something else. But you see with Markiplier, he has the advantage of not using a green screen, meaning that the way that the video renders out, like, it's a lot less strenuous on the rendering program because he's in a separate box, as opposed to the game being in a separate box, right? As opposed to using the green screen, which is something that I personally prefer, just because I view the production, like, I just enjoy the production of it, and the amount of space that we actually get for the game and everything like that. Because otherwise, if we have a big box up here, it's like half of the box, like maybe 50%. Well, no, not 50%. Let's say like 45% of the box is just background that doesn't necessarily need to be in the video. So that's why I personally prefer the green screen, because it means that we can have, like, as you've seen in most of the videos, like, we'll have up here is just all the gameplay and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to make a point that because it's inlaying the face cam with a green screen into the video, it means that it's going to dither the quality more so than raw gameplay video. And I'm just trying to make that point because I'm going to have to do the real test. Like, this is kind of just the preliminary test to see whether or not SCYTHE ends up working for me. And then the next real test will actually be using this with a proper recorded episode and everything like that. I'm very, very happy with my audio quality. Everyone has been ripped. Everyone has been saying how much they have enjoyed and noticed the mic quality. A couple people even said they specifically subscribed because of it. So that's very handy. That's very cool. You know, that means that the audio quality is something that I'm satisfied with, and I'm very, very happy that everyone else is satisfied with it. So now it's time for me to get some crunch time down to find out if I can actually step up my video quality. But anyway, Trove server crashed. Oh, another thing too, that I just wanted to say in closing, the reason that I actually recently found out that SCYTHE is one of the best recording softwares out there is not because of its options, that's for sure, because it's generally lacking customization, but the fact that I could actually go into the top right corner, I could close Trove right now, or even have the game crash on me, and SCYTHE will actually stop the recording and save the video. Now that is a big deal. Any content creator knows that almost every type of recording software out there, Bandicam, Fraps, DxTory, everything, If you're recording, if your game crashes, it corrupts your footage. Now, that might have been updated in some of the other recording software that I just mentioned in 2 seconds ago, because I don't necessarily use it, but for Bandicam, it's always been a big issue, especially because it's compressing the videos as it's recording. But anyway, I'm just rambling on. I just wanted to say that that feature in itself is so good that it made me look at Shadowplay in a whole other way. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I know this video ended up going a lot longer than I intended it to, but I did want to talk about mostly just the monitor resolution and stuff, and I kind of ended up talking about a bunch of our stuff. So you may end up seeing this resolution in some other Trove episodes that are to come. I actually already have Trove's episode 302 and 301 and 302 are already recorded. Those are going to go up very soon, if not later today, I think. I would have to double check my calendar, but I'm not exactly sure. I recorded those a couple days ago so that I had time to start Robocraft, Warframe, and also so that I could kind of step up and have a little bit of personal time to focus on all of this stuff. And that's kind of what I'm using these blog videos for, is so that I can clue you all in real time what's going on behind the scenes, because that's one of the things that's a big disadvantage of recording so many series. Means that I have to record so many of them in a row and get them stocked up. Like, I have to have a whole stockpile of footage that I can start uploading and schedule the uploads so that I can have enough time to start recording some of the other games, right? The big disadvantage of this means that I don't get to record any of my videos in real time, meaning that there is no way that I will ever be able to have, like, where I record a video and upload it directly like these blog videos, because otherwise you would just be swamped with content. And because of, you know, like a day that I'm recording, I record like so many different things, you would get so swamped with content, and then it would be like a couple days hiatus while I take a break, you know? But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I very much appreciate it, and hopefully you're gonna notice a difference in the video quality. I'm gonna check it out myself too, but you can only ever tell afterwards. So as always, sayonara and stay epic. Love you all to death.